Morehouse College has been dedicated to educating and empowering black men for more than 150 years, with influential alumni who include Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Maynard Jackson, Spike Lee, and Senator Raphael Warnock. Now it is launching an institute dedicated to studying the economic, social, cultural, and personal outcomes of issues facing black men. The Black Men's Research Institute aims to produce cutting-edge scholarship on the experiences of black men and boys in the U.S. and across the African diaspora. The new institute thrives to equip black men and allies to challenge and navigate through a society constructed in ways that may marginalize black men's contributions and humanity. The institute will also spearhead a Black Masculinity Studies minor, the first of its kind among the nation's HBCUs. Joining me now to discuss is Dr. Clarissa Myrick-Harris, chair of the Humanities Division at Morehouse College, who has been involved in launching the institute. So, Dr. Myrick-Harris, just tell us first about this institute. Why did it come into being? How did it get its start?
Yes, exactly. Well, it's been in the making, actually, since the beginning of the institution. The institution was established to develop men with disciplined minds for lives of leadership and service. And so it really is only natural that this institution, the only institution, certainly in this country, if not on the face of the planet, devoted to educate primarily Black men. And so we found that within this institution, which in itself is a safe space, an incubator for leadership, an incubator for men who go out and do great things in the world as overt leaders and also behind the scenes and in the trenches, it was only logical that we go to that next level and develop this space, this place within this larger institution devoted to not only producing young Black men who go on to lives of leadership and service, but also in that process, helping them to understand the landscape they're going out into, the world they're going out into, help them to negotiate so that their experiences will be experiences in which they are fully prepared for, not only in terms of their education, but in terms of their understanding of how the world works and how it has come to really treat not only young Black men or Black men and boys and youth, but Black people more broadly. So this institute will take a very proactive stance and in a very positive way, look at the landscape, look at the history, look at the experiences of Black men and boys with the idea of transforming, taking the lead in transforming policy and ultimately transforming society in a way that will no longer be a society in which Black men are endangered species and endangered species.
It's very rare to see studies of patriarchy and misogyny used as tools to empower or liberate Black men, or any men for that matter. Why was it important to include those particular concepts in the mission of the Institute?
Well, yes, because we live in a society, I think, in which, whether intentionally or not, our Black men, our boys, and quite frankly, even our women are educated in ways that highlight sexism, that are ways in which the men and women are pitted against each other. And sometimes behavior occurs, again, not necessarily even intentionally, and it's because of how men and women have been educated. So one of the goals is to understand this history, to understand how society has acculturated Black men and boys, and ultimately even women, and how through the ways that we are educated, misogyny, sexism, and even patriarchy are perpetuated over and over again creating disparities
Right.
even within the Black community.
In that same vein, the press release notes that the Institute will be dedicated to studies through the lens of intersectionality, which is a theory developed by Black feminist scholars to explain the multiplicities of oppressions that Black women face. Why do you think that theory is necessary in this institute for the scholarship of Black men?
Intersectionality, you will find, is being used just very, very widely because it is a term that is so appropriate for when you are looking at and trying to understand the experiences and the lives of people. So you find it's not only being used now by women, by feminist women, but it's being used to understand the experiences and the challenges in the lives of a number of people of color, generally, broadly, from Latino populations to the LGBTQ community. And so when you're looking at the lives and experiences of any group of people, you have to understand all the components of those experiences and those lives, how their identity, how they identify themselves, the gender identity, sexuality, as well as race, as well as culture, as well as economics. Those things converge, they inform, and there's a confluence of factors that then determine how that individuals, how that group's lives and experiences will go.
So what has been the response to the young men on your campus to this institute?
Well, first of all, let me just note that we are just launching the Institute this month. It has been in the making really over a period of about more recently. Yes, it's been in the making over time, but very intentionally over the last couple of years. And just within the last 6 months or so, we received a generous grant from the Mellon Foundation to support this initiative. And let me just give kudos, a shout out to our provost. Provost Kendrick Brown, who I worked with to develop the concept and the proposal for this initiative for establishing the Black Men's Research Institute. And so our first steps really is establishing the infrastructure. We've identified, appointed an associate director, Dr. Derek Bryan, at Morehouse College. He's on faculty at the institution. And our next step will be
Right.
to meet with and appoint our advisory council and to do a national search
Right.
for an executive director of the Institute.
Dr. Myrick-Harris, I was running out of time here, but I want to say thank you and good luck with this institute. It sounds fantastic. Thank you for your time tonight.